Hello, this is Annette Stanton. I hope you're having a great day. I'm wondering if you're trying really hard to succeed in your coaching business. I can relate to that. There's been many different phases and stages of my coaching business that I've noticed, that there's so much more to read, there's so much more to do, there's so much more to take in, there's so many different areas. I was talking with a coaching colleague this morning who was sharing with me that, she was trying to keep up to date with all the readings and study and everything that she was trying to get ahead with. And it just reminded me so much of another client that I'm coaching at the moment who also mentioned the same thing in regard to researching more stuff and thinking and feeling that you have to know more to get ahead. And I remembered a story that occurred to me that I shared with her. When I first hired my master coach, one of the things that she said to me is for 3 months, she said, I've got a challenge for you. And I said, okay, what is it? I want you to take a sabbatical, she said, for 3 months. I went, what do you mean? She said, I want you to stop reading. I want you to stop looking outside at what other people are doing. Anytime you go to pick up a book or research something on Google or whatever, or the moral of the story here is, anytime that you go looking outside for new knowledge, more information, if you have a feeling to do that, stop yourself, pull yourself back and ask yourself, what subject am I actually focusing in on that I might be looking outside for new knowledge? So I took the challenge on, and for 3 months, I tell you what, it was the most challenging thing that I ever did, and I never realised how much I was reliant on looking outside of myself for knowledge and information, wisdom, instead of going inward first. Right. So little clause here. I'm not saying don't gain new knowledge. That's not what I'm talking about here. The first step is what I realised that there was so much information and knowledge that I'd already learnt that I wasn't applying. Right? And once I applied what I already knew, the basics on whatever subject, whether it was around setting up my business, whether it was around marketing myself, whether it was around how to speak in public, whatever the subject might have been, I went inward first and went, okay, so what have I already learnt about that particular subject? And I'd write down the areas that I knew that I'd learnt and then ask myself that next question, okay, which ones have I applied? And which ones need to be applied now that I know are my obvious next steps to step into? And I can tell you that it actually pleasantly surprised and more like shocked me about how much I already knew, and I wasn't trusting the well of wisdom, the resourcefulness that I already had inside me that I wasn't applying. I wasn't trusting that. So this is what this particular coach was saying, that she felt a sense of, because she was very academic, coming from an executive background, academic world, she was always looking for new knowledge, more resources, new information, but never ever really created that awareness of realising how much she did not feel the enoughness from inside out. Like, I'm not enough, I don't know enough, I'm not good enough, which then was coming into her setting up her own coaching business, and it was affecting her moving forward, right? So after 3 months of looking into my own resourcefulness, I realised I'd had so much information and knowledge and a well of wisdom that then became my habitual way of looking inward first, and then I go outward. Okay, so as I needed new information and knowledge, I knew exactly what information and knowledge I was looking for, And sometimes it was I didn't know what I didn't know, so I was open to that as well, all right? So not being closed-minded. And then I also knew who to speak to and what particular area of specialty area based on that subject that I might have been, intuitively knowing were the next steps for myself. So instead of getting lots of information, lots of knowledge, lots of, from many different areas in business, whatever the case might be for you, then making sure that you're honing in on what's the subject, what are the areas, and as I said, sure, go general even in the subject if it's a subject that you're not familiar with. Go general first to then go specific. But I cannot tell you how many times when I used to do this, and I did so many different marketing courses, so many different business courses, relationship courses, all sorts of different courses along the way to help me develop, my being, okay, and to become successful in all areas of life, not just one area. Then I spent a lot of time, energy and money, right, but still not utilising those resources. So my suggestion is to trust your own resourcefulness, know that you are enough, you have enough already, apply that, drill down before you go wide, and then look externally so that you're not going into overwhelm, which is what this particular woman was noticing. She was so overwhelmed with all the information and knowledge that she felt she had to learn more of, okay? And I'm hoping that this might support you in that particular area. So possibly, my challenge to you is, as mine was, to take a sabbatical. And obviously within reason, depending on where you're at. And there's no one size fits all, okay? So only you will know what feels right for you at this stage of where you're at. So if you want any support with that, please feel free to ask any questions, connect with me. And if you're interested in finding out more about how we can work together, I'd love to hear from you. Personal message me and ask any questions that you might have. So Annette Stanton here. Thanks for connecting, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you. Bye for now.